Hello everybody, my name's Alex and I'm going to start here my first video in the daily video series to help you come back from chronic pain and other chronic symptoms. So there's nothing I hate more than somebody taking forever to say something that they could have said in a much shorter period of time. So I don't want to waste your time, but I do want to tell you my story very quickly and what you might be able to get out of it. And so I'm just going to start. So I woke up one morning when I was 20 years old and I had back pain. And it only got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse over the course of 2 years. And I had to stop working. I couldn't do anything I liked, like going on hiking, camping, playing volleyball with friends, swimming, sitting, standing, watching a movie on the couch hurt. It was torture. It was terrible. And so I started doing PT maybe 3 months in, and I did that for a year and a half with one of the best PTs in my state. Actually, he was voted the top PT in my state. And after a year and a half, he said, "Look, man, we've tried everything on you, even experimental stuff. Listen, I think you might need surgery. I think you have something going on." I had also gotten an MRI and talked with my sports medicine doctor. And the MRI showed that I had multi-level degenerative disc disease and stenosis in my spine. And my doctor said, it will never get better, the pain, but you might be able to make it not get any worse if you're diligent enough. And so that was pretty tough news to hear at the age of 21, especially when so much of my life had been taken away by pain. And I mean, it was crazy. I was before I left my job, I was working at a burger joint, and I was asking my 100-pound female coworkers to pick up like 20-pound boxes for me because I just couldn't do it because I was in too much pain. And so, being someone that always prided myself on my strength and my ability to help others, having that taken away from me and having to tell my mom, "No, I will not help you move because I can't do it," was terrible. It was really tough. And so this went on. And once I got that news from my doctor, I kind of lost hope and thought, all right, well, I'll just strap in and this will be life. And I was thinking about how my life will work. What am I going to do for work? What happens if I want to get married? How am I going to, be a good husband, be a good son, friend, father, etc. And I had totally accepted my future being that of just 24/7 pain. And along with the pain, I had also started experiencing other symptoms like chronic fatigue and digestive issues. And I hadn't really put them all together, but I would find out later that they are related. And life went on until one day, about 2.5 years after I started being in pain, I stumbled across a video. I was driving up to visit my grandpa, and I was already mad because driving an hour meant an hour in the car, and an hour in the car means bad news for someone with back pain. And I got there and I said, "Grandpa, I can only stay for a little bit because I'm in too much pain. I gotta go." And so on the drive back, I needed something. I needed some good news. I needed a glimmer of hope. I needed just some good story to come out of it. And so I looked up YouTube, like, I don't know what I looked up, but any success with back pain and degenerative disc disease. And I stumbled upon an interview with Dan Buglio, who is a chronic pain coach. And it had about 900 views. I don't even know how it popped up in the search, but I watched it, and it was about 45 minutes long. And as I was driving back in my car, what he was saying started to make more and more sense. And as he started talking and I started opening up to the ideas he was expressing, I felt my pain start to melt away. It literally felt like melting in the most positive way possible. And I'm not a hippy dippy type. I'm not. That's just not me. No problem if you are. But I couldn't deny what I was hearing and what I was feeling. And by the end of that hour long ride, I was basically completely pain free. And I just had the dumbest smile on my face, and I thought, okay, here we go. Now, of course, the pain returned later that day, but what Dan Buglio was expressing is how our brains can create pain in response to a perceived danger. And that perceived danger can be anything. It can be the perceived danger of having to drive in the car, something kind of more superficial. The perceived danger of having to bend over and get the dishes. The perceived danger of walking the dog, et cetera, et cetera. Or it can be more deeply seated, and a lot of times it is, such as emotions that are perceived as unsafe. If you grew up with your parents telling you, no, you can't be angry, never be angry, or they got angry with you for being angry, now you have programming in your brain that says when this emotion rises, it's unsafe. And so your brain can't communicate with you in English. It can't say, hey, don't experience this. The only way it can communicate with you is by turning on something distracting. And something distracting is pain. And so if you have back pain, you're not going to try to figure out the anger or what have you. And so that second part, the more deeply seated one, didn't resonate with me right away. I was like, I don't know, I'm not an angry guy. I'm a pretty chill guy. I get along with everybody. So that part didn't resonate immediately, but that's okay, because that's not where you start with getting better. You don't start with that deep stuff. You start with the superficial stuff. And so you start kind of accepting the pain as just a friendly message that can be acknowledged and then moved on from. And then doing that over time with repetitions, you can teach your brain that, okay, I see you're trying to keep me safe from something, and I'm calmly telling you that I see that, I feel that, but there's no need. We're going to do it anyway, and it's going to be okay. And so that's what I did. And this work is based on a medical doctor called Dr. Sarno, who you may have heard of from the 70s or something. He was I think he was a surgeon in World War II or something, and then practiced afterwards doing psychiatry. But he proposed that lots and lots of chronic pain is due to repressed emotions, especially anger. And it's been carried on by other physicians like Dr. Schubner these days. And there's many, many people who have gotten better through this work. And it's not widely accepted, and that's understandable, because it's a bit confusing when you first hear it, because what it sounds like at first is that the pain is all in your head. But that couldn't be further from the truth. It's real pain that you're experiencing, just as real as being hit with a baseball bat or what have you. But the real pain is being created by your brain due to a perceived imaginary danger. So your brain's perceiving something as dangerous that actually isn't, and therefore is creating pain. And so after my car ride, the pain came back, but I had experienced a little glimpse of what life could be like, and that was enough. That was all the convincing I needed. And so from there, I started to do the work. And over the course of maybe 2 months, I was 98% better. And now I've been pain-free for almost 3 years. So this is it. you can get better, and the tools are all in your hand. You just have to get invited to the party, per se. You're not going to show up to the party if you didn't know that there was a party. But I'm here to tell you that there's a party going on, and you're invited. You're more than welcome to come. It's pretty awesome. And so what I did was I just started small, doing whatever I felt comfortable with. So whether that just be taking out the garbage or helping my roommate move the couch. And pain would inevitably arise, but you acknowledge it and then you move on anyway, and you be okay with whatever comes up, even if that's fear, anxiety, whatever. And then you keep on going. And then that teaches your brain over time that pain itself is not something to fear. It's not evidence that you're doing any damage to yourself. It's not evidence that something's wrong with you. It's not evidence that you're broken. Pain is just pain. That's all it is. And so then you take bigger steps. I remember one day I went out and played volleyball, and I was so terrified. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. What if I hurt myself and then I make myself even worse than I was before, and then I'm in a wheelchair for the rest of my life? But I had this underlying conviction that everything was okay and that I wasn't actually physically broken. And so I went out and played volleyball, and I was careful. You know, I didn't do a lot of sprinting or dives or anything. I just went out and casually hit balls if they were in my vicinity. And I was able to do it and be relatively pain-free. And then if pain did arise, it wasn't a big deal. And so that day it's so ingrained in my memory because it was a day of freedom. It was a day of hallelujah. It's a day of I'm back. I'm back, baby. And from there, it just got better and better. So I just started doing more and more. And even now, once in a while, like once every 3 months or so, I'll have a tiny flare up. But then inevitably, I'll check my mind state, and there will be some underlying fear or anxiety that needs to be addressed, and then I'll go about my day, and it'll be gone within 30 minutes to an hour. But so welcome. You can get better, and I forgot to mention that this method also worked for the other problems, such as fatigue and the digestive issues and whatnot. So there's hope. Fret not. It does get better, and it's not too hard either. You can start right now because you're not broken. And so, feel free to subscribe, like, follow along. I'll be posting a video every day. And there's a link in the description if you want to have a one-on-one conversation with me. Not necessary. You can get better just with the videos alone. Anyway, take care. Have a good one.